Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to pick up where we left off on the last one, and that is getting the S13 all set up with the geometry, because it is quite frankly a million miles off. You couldn't really see it in the video, I noticed, but my god, I've been pulled all over the place, so it needs to be done. Now I can't set up the geometry myself, but I can set up the ride heights. That is what I'm going to do right now. We're going to get it jacked up, make sure it's all the same height, front, back, left and right, and get it to a point where it's sort of hopefully a little bit safer to drive, and then go and get them aligned. Okay, since we're flying through this is stage one. Something on eBay. This is stage one of adjustment. They are now leveled out on the rear perfectly each side, but we are still miles too high. Now, suspension does settle when you've jacked it up. It does take a little bit of time to settle back down, but it's not going to settle down as far as I want it to. So I'm going to drop it a little bit more, I think, because it needs to have a little bit more. Well, I don't know, actually, it doesn't need to come down more. Will it settle out a little bit and make me happy? Ah, decisions. I think I'm going to need to get the front done though, because this side is much lower than the other side. So let's just get the front leveled up and see how we sit them. Okay, so that is the front coilovers now all absolutely the right height that they should be. Whoever put these on originally, I don't think it was the guys who I bought the car from. I think they probably just bought a set of coilovers and threw them on there. But whoever set those coilovers up originally, my good god, the preloads were all over the place. There was probably about 2 inches worth of slack on the driver's side for the preload of the spring, and on the passenger side there's probably about 3.5, maybe even 4 inches worth of slack. It was that bad. It was a long way off what it should be. So all the preloads have been set up, all the ride height has been now equaled on both left and right on the fronts and left and right on the rears. So I'm just going to take them out for a quick spin and see if that has made a difference at all. I mean, we're in full blown like a Bitsu spec here, but it's fine. Anyway, it's there, it's done, so let's see what this ride's like now, if it's as scary as what it was. Hopefully not. In case you're wondering how warm it is today, it is very, very warm. Whew, I think that's my boobs have been sweating. Real life problems. Starting mirror is not the best on this. Sounds like it's sticking a little bit. Oh, right, test drive number 3. Okay, just want to take a little break in this video to explain a couple of little things for you guys. Personally for me, at this moment in time, there's a few things going on in my life which meant that filming the YouTube videos for you guys and doing even the work on the cars had taken a complete backseat for me. There's a few bits and pieces I did miss out for you guys on the S13 build. All the alignment has now been done, it's been set up. It was a million miles off, which was one of the main reasons why it was pulling so hard from left to right, and it just didn't feel connected at all because the tracking was a long way out. Just the basics of tracking. It's all now done, dusted, and it drives a million times better. In the meantime, since doing that, I've also been doing the other smaller bits and pieces on the car, which were getting the tacho to work, getting the speedo to work, and getting into idle properly. The reason why it didn't have a working tacho was the gauge cluster itself wasn't working properly. So I borrowed the one from my SILEIGHTY, tested that in the new S13, and everything works fine as it should do. The speedo, simple case, speedo drive needed to be changed. That was absolutely fine and not a problem. The idle problem, I'm still struggling to get to the end of this one. Now, I've changed both the sensors on the coolant side of things for ones that I know were working in good condition, and that is still giving me the same problem. It's still saying 0 on the temperature gauge. I'm assuming that will have something to do with the fact that it's not idling as it would do when it's up to temperature, because it still thinks it's too much fuel going in, it's too cold. It's just not happy, so I need to get that side of things done and dusted. But at this moment in time of the video, the S13 is pretty much there. It's literally just the idling side of things that I need to get done. Oh, actually, no, tell a lie. The clutch. I found out the clutch was slipping quite a bit, so we have a new clutch on the way, so I'll put a new clutch in this S13 and again be an absolute ripper. I've also been doing a lot of work on the Skyline, which was another main thing I need to get done and dusted and get everything out of the way so I get the Skyline done and make more space for other things that are coming into the workshop in the very near future. But anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get back to the video. Hello and welcome back. Now, it's been a long time since I last gave you guys an update. The reason for that is I've had a lot of things going on in my personal life which is maybe not particularly happy and not fun to be around on camera. So with that out of the way, I have still been doing things have still been happening here. Quite a lot of things have been happening. So I've been filming, but not myself. So we've had the work done, but not a lot of my ugly mug and extra beer getting involved in it. One of the things that have happened though is we have this man, Ian. Now, I've known Ian for a long time. He is a specialist in S bodies, R bodies, and keeping the standards extremely high. Now, with the amount of work that I've got going on here at the minute, I thought it would be rather appropriate to actually get some help involved here, because I am struggling to keep up to date with everything that's going on. So, getting Ian in to help me with the bits and pieces that are going on to get things back on track, because I'm lagging behind. So, he has taken over on getting the SILEIGHTY up together and where we're going with this, because things have changed quite dramatically. The guy who's buying this one is decided to go quite a major route with it, so a lot of things are going to have to be redone, one of which engine is coming back out, because we've got some major things happening with that. Also, the other S13 we have here, we're going to be working on that as well, getting that done, and the Skyline over there is, again, one more major step closer to getting done. But anyway, let's crack on with the work, set the time lapses up and get things going. So, as we've seen in the time lapse, all the hubs and arms that need to be taken off of this are now removed. Happy days, all of this stuff will not be needed, as we're going 5-stud hub conversion as opposed to doing the hub adapters. Better way, and plus the wheels that are now going on this are way too big to run with 25mm spacers. So whilst we were waiting on parts for this, we can now carry on getting back on with this. This one now is we're taking the intake plenum off because we've got a bit of issues with idling. When you come to idle, once the car's warm, it's fine, but when you turn the car off and turn it back on, it doesn't want to idle quite right. So thinking it's more than likely going to be a sticky idle air control valve, so we're going to take that off, give it a clean up, chuck it back on, happy days. Also have a smell of fuel, which has been there for a little while now. It's been one of those things where you go, well, I need to look at this, I'll get around to it. It's now time to get around to it. So set time lapse up and let Ian crack on with this bit whilst I carry on with bits for this. Quick little update, since I haven't done anything for a long time for you guys, as I've had a little bit too much going on in my own life to deal with this sort of thing. But here we have various bits and pieces over here, done, dusted, refurb and fitted. Also refreshed the wiper motor, so that's all on and looking fantastic. Really happy with that. And now on to the job of stripping down this wire and getting rid of all that horrible coating that they put on it from factory, putting some nice braided stuff on and fitting it all through. Fun times, yay me. Hour and a half later and we get to this point, but instead of filming everything I'm going to do, let's do the old snapperoo for it. So just like that. A few hours later and we have everything absolutely covered and looking fantastic. Look at that. Focus, come on, you know you can focus, Canon. Yes, look at that. Much better tidy loom. Now the battle to go and get this thing back into there. It's always a struggle. So to deal with some heat management issues that I'm going to have with this thing, we have the heat shield in place to protect the ABS pump and the brake pipes, as I'm keeping ABS in this car and I'm keeping aircon as well. This is going to be a road car. As much as it's going to have all the potential to be a full-blown race car, it's still going to be daily driven, sort of. So I'm also going through the link sensors now to make sure everything goes where it needs to go, ordering the correct parts for the fuel system. And whilst I've been doing that, Ian has managed to get the idle control valve off and sorted, and we're now at the back of the car doing the disgusting fuel smell that is on the car, because it is ridiculous how bad it smells, wasn't it? And that's the reason, because the carbon canister had been removed.
Carbon canister had been removed, but they left the steel lines in underneath the car, venting underneath the car. So I've since disconnected the vent line from the back of the petrol tank, and I'm going to run it underneath the back of the car, so at least then fumes will be going backwards and not forwards, back underneath where you're sat. So
because that was the problem, wasn't it? It was going around the car, circulating, and then finding access points inside the car, and it was stinking inside. It smelled really bad. So at least they're having it at the back of the car now. It'll only vent towards the back, and you're not going to smell it inside the car, which would be another milestone checked off. But we're going to get this thing back on the floor in a minute and see what we have in terms of the idling. Hopefully that's solved the problems we've got. Comes to my attention, I am doing an absolutely fantastically bad job of keeping you guys updated on what I'm doing on this. But here we have the wiring loom now all fitted back in, roughly in the location it needs to go. That's for horns, so that needs to be readjusted. Everything else on this side is done. I've ordered some new clips as well. The clips that hold the loom up into the original places was just, it was okay, but not as nice as it should have been, or sorry, as nice as it could be. So I've ordered some more new clips to hold all of this back up into its place. And now I'm just about to start work on the wiring loom for the starter side of things. So let's do the old snapperoo and get this thing back together as well, shall we? Oh, no, still can't do left, right hand, sorry. Hey, there we go. How much easier is that? Now, to fit all this back on the engine and get it ready to go back in, I suppose. Right, so that is now everything on the back of this thing done and dusted. We are now done for the day. We were going to take this out for a test drive this evening, but to be fair, it's getting late in the day. Is it going to focus? Is it going to focus? There we go. Well, it's getting late in the day, so we're going to pack it up here and we're going to take this thing for a test drive probably tomorrow, I think. Saturday seems to be a good day for a test drive. Right, so on that note, I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again next time.